Girl steals couple's parking spot before they get sweet revenge on her. Whether it's Trunchbull getting attacked by a newt in Matilda, or Inigo Montoya's "You killed my father, prepare to die" spiel in The Princess Bride, there's just something so satisfying about a rotten individual getting their comeuppance. Of course, the best revenge stories come from real life, and one couple learned for themselves just how spectacular the payoff can be. It's said that revenge is best served cold, but they proved that it's best served with a sweet glaze and rainbow sprinkles. Hunter and Lara were relaxing in front of the TV when they started to crave something sweet, specifically a snack they didn't have in their apartment. The couple dreamed of Boston cream, jelly filling, and powdered sugar. It was 8:30 p.m., so they were in a serious time crunch. See, the only late-night donut place was downtown. This meant braving some nightmarish traffic, but they hoped the fried dough would be worth it. When they arrived downtown, it was packed with cars and pedestrians. They were determined to make their donut dreams a reality, but the bakery was supposed to close at 9 p.m. They had to find a parking spot, and fast. Finally, Hunter saw a street parking spot open up ahead. It was a rare find, located just beyond the donut shop and right on the sidewalk. The couple happily pulled up and prepared to parallel park into the spot. But just as she and Hunter were starting to parallel park, a little white Vespa, as Hunter described, suddenly whipped into the spot. Lara slammed on the brakes and watched as the Vespa screeched to a halt. Hunter and Lara looked at each other in shock. They had been cautious when parallel parking to avoid hitting anything, or worse, anyone, so it was unbelievable that this Vespa had stolen their spot in the blink of an eye. The two young Vespa-driven women, who were most likely college students, looked at Hunter and Lara's shocked faces and laughed. Beyond annoyed and seriously craving a donut, Hunter rolled down his window. "Excuse me, we were just backing in," he called out to the girls in the Vespa. But instead of apologizing, the girls just laughed again and replied, "Sorry, first come, first serve." At this point, the whole situation had put a pin in Lara's donut dreams, but Hunter had a different idea. He was determined that, rude drivers or not, he and Lara would get their dessert. So he told Lara to drop him off in front of the donut shop and to pick him up in 5 minutes. He went into the shop, still seething from the encounter with the Vespa girls. Worse, his worries about the donut shop that time of night came true. It was packed, and the normally filled shelves of donuts were emptying quickly. All he could do was wait, which is when he heard a familiar voice. It was coming from one of the Vespa girls who stood right behind him in line. The two girls were so busy talking about donuts that they didn't even notice him. Hearing their voices again was irritating enough for Hunter, until he overheard them say, "Thank God we got a parking spot," before laughing hysterically. Hunter concentrated on deciding which donut to order from the 2 dozen left in the shop, which is when he was struck with sweet inspiration. He told the employee that he would like 2 dozen donuts, the exact amount left in the shop. Now Hunter realized with glee the Vespa girls were paying attention and they weren't happy. "What, you're not even going to save a few for us?" the Vespa driver asked the employee. At this, Hunter turned around and replied with the comment he'd been waiting to say the entire time. "Sorry," he said. "First come, first served." The looks on the girls' faces were, as Hunter said, truly an expression I will never forget. Hunter left the bakery with 2 dozen donuts and an extra spring in his step. Hunter waited in front of the bakery for Lara to pick him up, but she was nowhere in sight, so he called her and was surprised to hear the amusement in her voice when she said she was in their parking spot. Their parking spot? Sure enough, when Hunter went over to the Vespa, there was Lara parked right next to it, blocking it in. She laughed when Hunter told her about the donuts and started to reveal her own plan for revenge. But before she could finish, they heard an angry honk. It was from the Vespa, and the girls clearly weren't expecting to see Hunter and Lara again, especially after the donut incident. Most of all, they weren't expecting Lara's own vengeful plan. Hunter and Lara toasted to the victorious occasion with 2 donuts, which they ate then and there right next to the Vespa. After all, it would have been unsafe for Lara to start driving with half a donut in her hand. After a few long minutes of dessert eating, the couple slowly drove away. But unlike the first time, they left their parking spot laughing and filled to the brim with donuts, and with the sweet satisfaction of revenge.